Is it a very difficult task, when a burden, in fact, when the public expects you to clean up mistakes, not just of the present, but maybe of the past?
Yeah. See, before I take on that, it's just interesting to hear what Dato said just now about the teacher, discipline teacher in the school. You know, he's got a responsibility to do. And during my school days, I had a teacher as well. You know, and I was not such a problematic student. But I know some friends who had hard time with the discipline teacher, and the teacher will come back and tell us, you know, what did I do? I'm just trying to correct these kids, and these kids went and scratched my car. This is the price you pay for bringing up kids. And today, we go back to the teacher and we tell him, sir, thank you very much. It's because of you we are here today. So sometimes somebody needs to do the job, and it's a teacher, it's people like him. He's a teacher too. So we do a job. As far as I'm concerned, the country is going to go through a stage which we're all going to be proud of, the developed nation. And one of the most important criteria for us to reach there is this country has to have zero corruption, on at least 90% mark. Okay, and that is not only going to make the country look good economically, employability of a country, and our name will flourish. And this is not the responsibility only of the government of the day, but it's the responsibility of 28 million people out there.
How about you personally? Is it one of the things that you wanted to do when you entered politics?
Well, I like to serve the constituents, my community, irrespective across the board. I did my education in public relations, mass communication, and part of public relations is all about relating myself to the public, you know, to group of people, the government and the people, the employment and the employee. So I'm here. Of course, today, the moment you become a politician, they always think that you're corrupted. I've lost some friends over the last 3 years because they didn't get any business from me.
Oh, okay. Not because they objected to your political views.
No, because they didn't get business from me. You know, I've lost some friends, and I have no regret losing friends like that. Because it's not worth it. I'm a person who have come out from rags to where I am today. I used to work as a clerk, and today I'm a member of parliament, a deputy education minister. Grace of God, we worked very hard, and I'm here today. And I'm not going to let this, my work be disturbed with things like that. The government, Prime Minister Najib has even come out with policies that makes it, the people don't understand, but it's good for us because right now, as an MP, I can't even sign a letter recommending a particular organization to be given a particular contract. And if anyone sees my signature on that letter, anybody, that tender applicant will be rejected immediately. This is how serious we are. And I don't like to do that. I tell them, if you have the ability to do a project, apply for it, they will give it to you. Okay, so that's the process it is, and I'm happy to be part of Prime Minister Najib's administration because I see this man, he is up to what we expect him to be. And I'm sure with the support we have right now, we'll be able to do a lot more transformation, especially in this area of corruption. And he's always said that transparency is very, very important, and we are going to be transparent in what we do.
Datuk Mustafar, how about the prosecution of various investigations? Does it match up to international standards? Are we? I know that earlier you mentioned touching on some difficulties in seeing through from the initial investigation to getting a conviction.
Yeah, I remember Ravi mentioned about special court on corruption, right? And that gives some strong point in terms of getting the commission rate and all that on the increase. One, we talk about information, start with information. The quality information given to the MACC, the quality of information that our officers look sought after. And then goes to the professionalism of the MACC officer. And by having that, whenever we presented our case to the Attorney General's office, and then if the case charged in court, the commission rate now is going in the increase. Last year, for example, we have got about 85% commission rate, and this is, I would say, very high in terms of commission rate in court.
It's a huge increase.
Huge increase. Previously, about 71% and all that. But again, it's not only talk about a particular single perspective, but you're talking about the totality of the issue, the component that can give a rise in terms of the commission.
Okay. Speaking of which, how do we judge ourselves a success? I mean, we talk about numbers, like you said earlier, not zero, but we were shooting for nearly 90%. But is there any model, society, other models that Malaysia can look towards and say, okay, maybe we want that country, or maybe even economic corporations, how they're doing things that we can look towards?
If we look today, I think in the sense that the world is in crisis, Europe in crisis, America went through crisis. The only countries that are not having a crisis are the Scandinavian countries, like Denmark, Finland, Sweden, Norway. So these countries are there. And if you look at that, they have very high revenue. For example, Norway have got huge oil reserves, and also their sovereign fund is almost 600 billion euros, something like that. No? So, and if you look at the administration, it's absolutely clean, very clean, high degree of intolerance against corruption, good institutions, uphold rule of law, access of information as well. So I think these are the model that we can learn. And mind you, those countries has got high taxes. So in spite of that, and of course their high taxes today is a blessing to them, because if it is distributed by a clean government, then it has equitable distribution. So equal distribution, and that's why they have a strong middle class. So I'm not talking about us going on high taxes. But I'm saying that managing it in a transparent way, being very accountable, and high degree of intolerance, that's the type of model. In the case of New Zealand, they have the same model. The people are highly intolerant, of corruption and abuses. And New Zealand is also every year is either first or second.
Okay. How about yourself, Ravi? Any particular models that Malaysia can learn from?
I think one is clearly the Scandinavian countries. Maybe as a model, right? If you look at the US, which a lot of Malaysians look at and say, why aren't we like that? US has made a lot of mistakes, right? They've had Enron, which is a case of misgone integrity, right? There are other cases that have come forward, right? But the thing is, what works there is the right whistleblower channels, right? And people taking a zero tolerance to corruption, or zero tolerance to no integrity. So that's also a model. And secondly, I think maybe one of the things, as YB said, we're zooming towards becoming a fully developed nation. And one of the things maybe it's time to think about, where public officials actually have their incomes raised publicly, right? And therefore the propensity to want to take a bribe is less, which is similar to what you have in Singapore, for example.
How about yourself?
Well, I must say here, and I'm proud by saying that MACC also as a model in terms of an agency that being emulated by other parts of the world in looking how to combat corruption. But of course, we also look into models that how we can improve. I remember we talk about, more importantly, that we talk about a scenario by the society that it is a very high probability that they are being get caught whenever they involve in corruption. That one of the model. Well, Datuk Pong mentioned about Scandinavian countries. Once I was in Helsinki, in Finland, I asked them, when is last time corruption happened in your country? They were mentioning about 10 or 20 years ago, to that extent. But what they said, a society that said it is unthinkable act for someone to give to somebody a bribe or kickbacks or gratification to get things done, to get something, to get contract. If that scenario, that culture embedded in a particular person or a nation as a whole, I think that's the best model that we can have.
Okay. Just a final word from
sorry, before that, again, just to add another single, we need to have law-abiding citizen and also God-fearing society. These two words must have thing.
Correct.
Okay. Right.
Yeah,
Final word from
I'll just be fast. Okay, when you talk about a particular model of a country, I would rather say that I think it's better. It's for us. It's to be better than where we are today. Okay, and there's not one particular country's formula which is going to work for us. It could be a combination of a few countries' a way of managing things, which then could be formulated to be effective in Malaysia. And that's what we need to look at. I don't think there's a specific model that's going to work for Malaysia, no. But there could be a few models put together and make Malaysia a better nation.
Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your participation.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll see you again.